What's up, guys? We got some Mass Effect 3 multiplayer in the works here. Hopefully, going to be playing some decent game. Playing with my Sentinel Krogan. Recently unlocked him. He's been a lot of fun to play as. Definitely not a traditional Sentinel, I suppose. He's spec'd for like heavy weapons, essentially, and melee attacks, like most Krogans are, and should be. That doesn't mean that I don't rush in and melee everything usually. I mean, this is bronze difficulty, so I very well might in this game, which is, I mean, played live right now. So you know, pardon if I have some instances where I don't talk as much as I would like. But tech armor is pretty beastly, especially in the Sentinel with the Krogan. It's crazy. Putting tech armor on right now, and I do monster damage with every weapon that I have, and because I'm spec'd for weapons damage, melee damage, and damage reduction. So and the only power I actually have outside of tech armor is my grenades, and I haven't fully maxed them out yet. But no plans to use incinerate. I don't see any use for it for me, because tech armor reduces the power recharge by 80% to begin with. And then with these two beastie weapons, you know, I have like negative like 150 or something, and it doesn't work. It won't work very well. So he's just basically a battle master Krogan, just completely annihilating everything with weapons. Very much like a soldier, except just a lot more tanky. He has the most shields in the game, and all that. So he's a lot of fun to play as. And obviously the melee is really sweet. Instant kill on at least on bronze difficulty on most of these unshielded enemies, and especially when you enter rage mode, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that whatever you hit's gonna die, which is kind of cool. See this guy right here, bam, dead. That's Krogan for you. So a lot of fun. Hopefully my teammates let me kill a lot of people. It's not that hard to play the Krogan on bronze difficulty. As bronze difficulty is actually, you know, decently easy, and especially against Cerberus, probably the easiest faction to play as now that they actually buffed the Geth a little bit. Atlases are easy, and that's probably the hardest enemy you face outside of Phantoms. So you know, not too big of a problem. But that's about all I use my lift grenades for, is just for some massive damage up close or from afar against groups. Fortunately, I have a Vanguard with me, so he's probably going to be stealing a lot of my up close kills. But that's okay. Vanguards are definitely a lot of fun to play with and to play as on bronze difficulty, because, like I said, you know, bronze, you can kind of do whatever you want and find success. But most people find Vanguards annoying. I think it's a lot of fun, and I love playing with people who do it, because they usually weaken a lot of the enemies up for me, and especially if they have protections and stuff like that. That's kind of my role. But as you can see, I have the Krogan Rage mode now. And gives a huge bonus to damage protection, as well as melee damage, as you can see there, headbutting Centurion to death when he was shielded. So definitely a lot of fun playing as the Krogan. I think it's probably I would say it's probably the most fun class to play overall, especially when you find success with it. There's just something so satisfying about meleeing everything to death, and toting around these incredibly powerful weapons like the Claymore and the Revenant, and I'll probably replace the Revenant with the grenade launcher or the Saber when I get the chance, when I unlock them, which will probably take a while. But I mean, my gosh, the Krogan's just, he has monster weapon damage, and he barely even takes damage from grenades. Like, I'll sit on one right now, barely even touched me. I don't think it actually hurt me at all. But as you can see, this melee kills pretty much everything in one shot. It allows for some really fun streaks. And even your standard melee, when you enter rage mode, does an absolute monsterly damage ratings. And so, when I usually play my Krogan as, it's a lot easier for me to protect my teammates as they're going for the goal, especially on silver difficulty, just because I have so much. I'm always close to the enemy, and definitely have the draw of, you know, drawing their fire with these increased shields. It's very hard to kill the Krogan on bronze difficulty unless you get trapped by a turret, and usually when you do that, you can just melee the turret and it'll die. So as you can see, I'm barely even using my weapons because I don't have to. But the Claymore itself, if I whiff a melee or something like that, is able to clean up basically anything I touch. So and gotta get a grab going on if I can get one. They're definitely a lot of fun to pull off. But the Claymore itself, when you put the Smart Choke on, gives it a little bit more range, and obviously I use it a lot for the melee attachment, which is just really cool. Gives it a little bit more boost. Usually can separate a few one-hit kills to, you know, nothing else. But you see the Krogan itself is just an absolute monster on bronze. It's basically impossible to lose with him, and just easy for getting stressed out, I suppose. It's just too much fun. You've always wanted to play as Rex or, you know, Grunt in multiplayer, and at least I have, and it's actually fun to finally do that. It is cool though, because a lot of the classes do feel very specialized, especially the Krogan especially, just for the fact that his playstyle is drastically different, especially from the humans, which are probably the most common class played and common race used, for the fact that, you know, you unlock them at the start. But from my opinion, I would say probably the best class that I've seen played at this point is either of the engineer classes, and then I also really like the Krogan Sentinel, because it's kind of like a mix between like a soldier and an engineer, which I really like. Not a whole lot of biotic power. I mean, I don't really view it as a biotic power. It can kind of do a little bit of everything though, and the fact that you can use any weapons at once is definitely a huge benefit. The Sentinel itself is just a great class. The human Sentinel I don't really like that much. To me, it just feels like a gimped version of the Asari Adept, because and tech armor on a biotics class so heavily dependent on those biotics is kind of useless to me. The tech armor, if you want to use it, there's no reason to use it, or to play as the Sentinel if you're not going to use it, in my opinion. Especially because the Asari Adept gets the same biotic powers and stasis, which is arguably the best biotic power in the game. So to me, it's just kind of a complicated situation. I really don't like the human Sentinel. It's a lot more fun to play as, I think, in single player, just because the Turian and the Krogans just seem so much better. Like I said, the Turian has Overload, which is arguably the most useful power, I would say, in terms of crowd control. So he's able to remove damage protection, and also, establish some form of crowd control. And then Warp helps a lot with support role as well, getting rid of armor, and then also providing, the ability for your teammates, your adept teammates, and other biotic using teammates, with the ability to do biotic explosions. And those are definitely a huge benefit on increased difficulties for how much more damage they do. And I don't really claim to be an expert, but these are just a lot of the things that I've found through my playing that have definitely helped. So if you keep that in mind, definitely things to consider if you're wanting to play Sentinel. Is the Krogan. I highly suggest doing a lot of what I've done. I found success with this. Is honestly, I don't think it's meant for anything else besides just an absolute juggernaut type character. Spec for weapons, melee, and then heavy shields and stuff like that. I don't see a build being that useful on the Krogan, utilizing Incinerate. It just feels kind of like a tacked on ability, and the only points I would put in it would be very situational, because the melee itself does a lot more damage to armor, and then my weapons do more damage to armor. So, and then Lift Grenade was just kind of a tack and ability, mostly for the fact that it ran off of, and I could refill them whenever I wanted, and then it also didn't interfere with any cooldowns. And for me, I don't plan on taking tech armor off usually the entire game, and if I do, it's very situational. And I did go for the damage boost on the explosions for that reason, because whenever I've had to do that, it definitely comes in handy when I do. So, sit on a grenade, doesn't even hurt me. Kind of get out of here before I die. So which could happen. Krogan's not invincible. Don't get me wrong there. If you get caught by guardians or something like that. But for the most part, if you play smart and you play correctly, you will not have much trouble dying unless you get swarmed by turrets and killed by a phantom or something like that. But as you can see, I mean, it's just absolute melee fest, and that could probably be some boring for some people, but not for me. As you can see, I supplement my shotgun with it pretty well. I usually try and shotgun first, melee second, And the fact that when you're in rage mode, your normal melee almost renders the heavy melee a lot, because it does almost the same damage really at that point. Like, it's always a one-hit kill unless you're on like gold difficulty. So as you see right here, being a team player, getting that data cache or whatever the hell they decided to call it this time, wasting my rage mode, which is not too hard to get, so not too worried about it. But let's see. Only problem I will say I have with the Claymore shotgun is the fact that it has a pretty atrocious reload time. It's one shot, and then it also only has 8 shells in capacity, which for total for spares. So you kind of have to play your cards right, especially if you're not near an ammo cache. But that's why the Krogan is so useful, and the fact that he's just, I mean, there's no point to use Incinerate, so I have no worries about my cooldown, unless I'm worrying about you know, reloading my tech armor after I blow it off. But usually I do that as a last-ditch effort to survive, so I'm not too worried about it. And at that case, I'm just kind of meleeing everyone to death anyway. As I quickly already got to 50 kills, kind of just loosening up every forces for my teammates, which is nice for them. If I really wanted to just kind of play a support role with the Krogan, which I don't really think it can do. I think if you play around the Krogan's strengths, and if you have friends and teammates that will play around the Krogan's strengths, I think it's arguably one of the most powerful classes in the game. At least in my perspective. I play with friends who like to support me a lot more than I like to support them. So, but I'm definitely very capable of doing that. I really like to play Human Engineer. I think that's probably my second favorite class in the game. Possibly my favorite. The Krogan's fun, but the Human Engineer, I think, is incredibly balanced in what it can do for the team and also in an individual standpoint. I think it's better than the Solarian Engineer, which a lot of people argue. The Solarian is definitely meant for more like solo ops, basically. The Krogan and the Human Engineer is a lot more based around crowd control, while I think the Solarian Engineer can definitely handle himself a lot better on his own, with the fact that he has energy drain and all that stuff to help him out. So it's personal preference. I mean, I like being a team player, and I also like beating the shit out of everything with a massive Krogan. So the Revenant itself is honestly not that good of a weapon, but if I get more like the stability dampener or whatever, and I've also heard that the Turian marksman ability really works well with it. But it definitely is a beast close range. But I have the Claymore for that, so I'm sure I'll be replacing the Revenant eventually. So you see, top of the scoreboard right now, wave 7. So we're almost done. Bronze is a cakewalk if you have a 4-man team. It's a fun challenge to try and solo it. I think the Krogan can do it if you play it right. Just for how strong the shields are, and the only problem I can see really are Guardians, and I don't want to die, so I'll pop a survival kit. I got kind of swarmed there by the Phantom, who will probably animate me right now. And goodbye, Phantom. And that's where having teammates comes in handy. I could have probably used the lift grenade to get behind the Guardian, but I didn't really think about that at the time. So I kind of just threw my points in it. I'd honestly be fine if I didn't even have them. As you can see, I just blew that guy's head off. There's just, I've got what I want basically, and the other points are basically pity points for the other skills. So I'll probably put like 1 or 2 in Incinerate just for the fun of it, just so I have as max points possible. But that ought to be that necessary. Oh, hello, Phantom. But I'm sure I'll be doing more of these too, kind of highlighting just some other playstyles, and I'll probably do some playthroughs on silver difficulty as well if I find the time. Those take a little bit longer, and obviously the chance of success is a lot lower. But I'll definitely try and provide some sort of, you know, personal advice and tips about what I find to, you know, what I use successfully, what my preferences are. Obviously, being, you know, a customizable character, you can honestly do whatever you want and kind of find success with that. So I honestly, like, I don't expect you to always use my setups and all that. And if it doesn't work for you, obviously, then, you know, it doesn't work for you. So, you know, you kind of have to play through and experiment a little bit. The nice thing about the human classes is you get both male and female to work with. So my suggestion is you pick the gender that you will eventually want to main. If you like to use the human engineer, I personally like to play as a male, so I would use my my female engineer class to kind of experiment, and then like pick out, you know, because all the classes or all the races gain experience together. So your level 18 female engineer will be able to also create a male engineer as well. So what I did with my engineer was I played the female first, and then when I found something that I liked, I kind of refined my build for my male, and that's kind of worked out. It's honestly personal preference, but I think it's definitely something to, you know, you kind of have to experiment with. And kind of cool here, I'll see if I can take on this Atlas by myself with a little bit of help from my teammates, but just to show the power of the melee attack. Unfortunately, killed by missile launcher, but I wasn't even in rage mode at that point, and the melee was doing pretty respectable damage. So when in doubt, hold the B button down and you'll find victory. So just keep that in mind, I guess. If you go down, though, I would suggest please think about rushing into enemies before you melee, because if you go down and you're a Krogan, often your teammates will hate you, because if you think about it, with this much shielding, you really should not be going down that much. You should be the one having to save your teammates. With the increased shields and also with the damage protection from tech armor, it's you really should not be going down, and you should be having a lot of kills, or at least supporting your enemies with you know, some shotgun fire and some assault rifle fire. I really don't recommend using. Well, I'm gonna go down. I really don't recommend using snipers. It just kind of defeats the purpose of the Krogan. I mean, obviously you can if you want. Time to go take this Atlas on. I just think to me it's kind of pointless, because it's a class that specializes so much in. Well, just got absolutely destroyed by a Phantom, so that's okay. Not too worried about it. I've done a lot for my team so far. Leading scorer, gives me some time to talk, but I mean, yeah, if you think about it, I lost my train of thought actually, so I don't know what I'm thinking about. Oh, in regards to snipers on the Krogan, the Krogan itself is, most of its powers and bonuses are respect to health and shield bonuses and damage protection. So if you're sitting back with a sniper, which I don't think you get any real damage bonuses outside of like just general weapon damage bonuses, which is okay. I mean, the Krogan can use snipers just fine, and it probably uses them better than most other classes. But I think it's, you know, primarily meant for kind of close range combat. So a shotgun and, you know, a close range assault rifle like the Revenant or the, you know, any real assault rifle will work. But that's what I feel it's used for, just for the fact that I'm going to play to my strengths and use the armor that I have and use that to my advantage, and I don't always have to, I guess, sit back with a sniper rifle. If I really wanted to do that, I would probably play Infiltrator, Engineer, you know, Solarian Engineer mostly for sniper rifles, or, you know, Soldier, I guess. But with my luck, my teammates will fall and we'll lose on bronze, and I'll be really embarrassed, and I'm hoping that doesn't happen. So this Krogan Sentinel seems pretty legit. I think he's the second leading scorer. He's close, but still got 2 players left, and all at the very end stretch here. So yeah, they should have this in the bag. But yeah, I mean, and for those of you who are on the fence about getting the game, if you've played the first 2, there's no doubt that you should get the game. I think, and the multiplayer itself so far has been, you know, you would think it, since being a single player focused game, you know, that the multiplayer would be really tacked on. But honestly, I will say it has been incredibly addicting so far, and just a whole lot of fun. I've played with a few of my friends for a couple hours at a time almost, and it just flies by. But definitely a very very competitive and very fun cooperative mode. I think it's probably one of the most fun co-op modes I've played in any game, especially recently. So just to keep that in mind. That turret is lighting us up. Take it out. Krogans usually can handle turrets pretty well, so. And just an FYI, for situations like these, when it gets below 30 seconds, I don't want anyone to be running out. There's no purpose, and you'll end up dying, and your entire team will hate you. Lip grenades are a lot of fun. I highly recommend those. All right, I'm getting a little too overzealous here. Oh, no. I don't know where I'm getting shot, but the Krogan's pretty big, so he can actually still get shot behind cover, which really sucks. You just kind of have to be prepared for it. And I'll see if I can get some more lift grenades from the ammo case that I don't know where it is. Oh, it's up there. See if I can get this guy with the nail slot. Krogan, no! At least I have good teammates to revive me, but yeah, that's bad luck. I would go up there and melee charge that Atlas, but there's no point. I think he revived me last time, so I'll get him. Yeah, it's time. Run there with the quick melee, get the hell out of there. Again, died again. Wow. Yeah, that's basically don't do that. I'm kind of playing against my own advice here, but I get pretty greedy in the end. I only got 15 seconds left, so highly recommend just kind of sitting back. I know it's tempting, but don't resist the urge, because if you die, your teammates will hate you, and you'll feel just embarrassed. I don't even like dying when I'm a Krogan, so. Yeah, we'll check out, see how much money I got, some of the experience, and we'll be out of here. But that was a little shaky, I guess. Teammates weren't too good. For bronze difficulty, really just a crapshoot. So, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm actually not sure how close I am to leveling up, but if I level up, that would be spectacular. Alright, here we go. Didn't level up this round. Oh, well, not even close. But got quite a bit of money and finished second on my team, which is okay, probably because of those few deaths down the stretch. But I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll stop by for some more.